Jarlin Myroff. I wanted to make this statement about how all threats are go when you see Moshe. But you have a moral bankruptcy that doesn't apply to myself. What applies to myself is that if you are a bank teller and you come into work someday and you see a tray full of cash in front of you and you put it all into a bag that you brought in with yourself, and then you leave the bank and you don't come back ever as an employee, right? And you kept all the money, you could do that. And then it's true that everybody in the bank who works there could do that every day, and there would be no customers in the bank because there would be no money in the bank for the customers. That's true that you can do that. That's physically possible that God would have that problem with his employees in there. But you did something to me that was not karma to me. I don't have that I'm a bank teller. I'm not a bank teller. I don't actually have access to that amount of cash every day of my life, or any way that I was in a bank and I stole a small amount of cash and you decided to try to get it away from myself elsewhere. What you did was you manipulated the leverage of what it is for myself to be deceased out of the formed world. And that's a little bit against my arrogance. Do I have arrogance is not really true. But from your point of view, you don't know who or what I am, and you might say that I am arrogant is going to be money for you or to you, that you have some kind of an identity inflation because I am, according to you, arrogant, and I am going to lose. Without what? Without what I need. Okay. That's not the same thing as a bank teller goes into work one day and has the till in front of the bank teller they're supposed to use for the customers. That means they owe the money out to the customers. And they say to themselves, I'll just pack up this money in a bag and walk out with it. And go to a parking lot. It's a carjacking. They'll go to the parking lot and take the bank's money and leave with it for the day. And the bank doesn't have any more money for the day, and we don't know where the bank gets more money from. Like when? Do they have to close the bank for the day? Have you ever gone to a bank on a Monday and it's closed? But what if it's a holiday? So you say, oh, it's a holiday, the bank is closed. All right, the bank is closed on a holiday. Let's go to the bank on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday. Have you ever gone to the bank on a Thursday when it has the hours are open and it doesn't give you any indication as to why the bank is not open? We don't know why the bank is not open today? Well, what happened? Because you would need to investigate if somebody robbed the bank, if it was somebody who worked there who took money that was meant for you that day and they just didn't give you the leverage that you are to go in there and get money out of the bank. That's the debt that you are. That's what's wrong with you. If you don't have that problem, you don't have another problem with me that I would help you with, that you take money out of the bank at all. You can't take money out of the bank and then make charges against myself and then abduct all of the money that I used to pay the charges and tell me that I don't have anything I need. I don't have what I need is not what's wrong with me. I might not have what I need is undesirable, but it's not really threatening myself. You did something against myself to make it possible so that you could ask me for everything that moves. And since between the time I was a kid and I was being an adult-sized human form and onwards, you asked me for sex and cooperation with sex I didn't have any interest in when I was growing up. I didn't hear that. I have a dad figure in the house who's clearly a sex offender, but he's not one in my house because he's trying to get something like maybe grow me up and sell me to sex offenders when I get older. He might be malicious that way, but it's true that I didn't have a life that way at the time he was manipulating the money and threatening myself that he was going to sell me to a sex offender when I get older. My argument with him was I don't have a property in dispute, and how is he going to find one? And it's true that I'm right here deceased, that I had property that I worked for, and I don't feed sex offenders in property that I work for, but I have a threat I never made to my dad, which is, yeah, if you fit through the front door, there's nothing I can do about that. I have myself deceased and superior founder. That Charles Toe fit through the front door is the only way that he's a sex offender to myself. But how is he the only one? Why didn't he have like a line of sex offenders waiting to get in because they fit in through the front door? Do you actually think you might actually think that I did something wrong and I have a problem alone? And that's not true. You could have been a line of you like waiting at a bank for free money out of the bank. You could have been a line of sex offenders coming to my front door trying to get in to be a sex offender to myself for free because I can't stop you because you fit through the front door. I'm telling you, that is your only leverage for all the very evil videos I've been posting on YouTube channels. You're hysterical. I have 2 YouTube channels I'm using to post videos about sex offenders to myself, and you don't know not to do that. That's what's wrong with you. I am telling you, yes, I would not have a problem like that, and that's because you would know not to do that to me. But you don't. You don't know not to do that to me. Well, that is going to be elsewhere's the death of the scream. That you just got away with it and never even had any threats to be abducted into a prison and executed for that reason. If I don't do it myself, nobody will. I am not. I am right here until the end of the formed world. And then you worry about yourself after that. It's too late.